Hello guys, welcome back to the KP show. We are here with yet another episode, and this time our eyes will be on the India New Zealand tour, which is happening currently. We'll talk about the last ODI and then the first T20. Without any further ado, let's start with it. And what a contrast between the two matches, Pradeep. I think it's all about India's batting. The India, the Indian batters were so good in the first T20I, and they were equally bad in the ODI series. What were your thoughts? For me, batting is the one to blame for the series loss. What did you think?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, if you go back to the last video, I already called it out that I don't want to blame the bowling in these conditions, and we have bowled fairly well. Maybe we could not close out the game as we would have wanted in the first two ODIs as well, but batting was horrible in both the games. Apart from Virat Kohli, nobody looked convincing enough to me. Even Shreyas Iyer for some part of the first innings, and only KL Rahul. In fact, KL Rahul was the best batter in the first two games. And apart from these three, the others looked very flat. And when New
Gill,
Zealand put
Gill
up
got
like
some runs. Gill got a couple of
yeah,
50s. So
but still he was far away from his best
yep.
to say. So when New Zealand got to a total of 337, I think it was a bridge too far, even with all the prowess that we had. And but we also got an advantage that Michael Bracewell pulled off his scarf, so he was not able to bowl the ball at all. So that means they were a bowler short as well. But still, New Zealand came up with the goods, and that is pretty disappointing if you ask me. And Indore is a very small, I think one of the smallest playing areas in all the international stadiums that we host at. And I was expecting a good run chase from India, but I think in the power play itself, the wheels came off the car and we
Mm.
were all over the place, I believe.
I think the first thing, the batting was completely horrible. See, 330 on that indoor wicket, somebody would see the scorecard and maybe they would say, okay, the score was too much to chase. In the end, it was, but if you ask me at the start of the game, like even in the previous video, I predicted if New Zealand bat first, they're gonna get to 300, maybe 330 at best. And that was the range in which the score was. And I think considering India's batting prowess, we should have been able to chase that down, but we weren't able to. I mean, see, it's a very short time frame. It's just three ODIs, but I want to look at it starting from the Australia series. Even there, our batting looked unsettled. And here, especially, it is even more concerning for me. It is because it's home conditions and the bowling lineup of New Zealand wasn't that great. You could get that 330 quite comfortably. Virat Kohli, of course, was the star batter. He got those 120 plus runs. Hardly you see Virat Kohli getting 100 in a run chase and the chase not being successful. The last time, the big instance that I could recall was when Australia came to India. That was the series right before the 2019 World Cup. It was MSD's actually last ODI that I remember, when Virat got similar runs, 120 odd, but the chase was a big one, like 330 or 40,
320
and we
or
weren't
something.
able to.
320.
Yeah,
I think it was in Ranchi or somewhere they were playing, and it was
it was in
320.
Ranchi. It was in Ranchi. It
Yeah.
was in Ranchi. So that was the last time that I remember. But otherwise, a sublime innings from Virat gives me a lot more confidence, and probably he'll get to that 100 hundreds. What do you think?
Uh, that could have been the case, but I think it's too much to ask for if you see, because we
I don't
don't
know,
have so
24
many good
matches. 24
24.
matches he has, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, and that means 100 more every two games you need, I think.
Mm, mm.
And if you add up the
Yeah,
games in the World Cup as well, it will come down to something like 36 or 37 games they were saying. So every three games you need to score 100 like that. It is possible. I won't deny it with the way he has been batting. But again, we need to see the only problem that I have had with him is in last 5 years there was some weird kind of a stat that I was looking in. that his average away from home, especially on away tours, has come down significantly in ODIs as well. It was down to 40 or something in South Africa, means all those tours. So
Mm,
maybe with more playing time that will go up, because in last 5 years we haven't played that many ODIs as well. It has become very
mm.
sparse, the ODI format. So maybe that can be a case, but all in all, yeah, it will be good if he gets even somewhere close to that, even 92, 93, 95. Anything north of 90 is going to be great if he ends up and we end up winning the World Cup as well. But that thing is very far as of now with the way we are being playing. That means how the team is functioning. It looks like a distant dream.
I mean, the fact that we are discussing is a testament to Virat Kohli's greatness. I mean, any other player, this kind of equation we wouldn't even be discussing. Just because it is Virat, we are at least able to discuss. This being his favorite format and his kind of bread and butter. So yeah. Anyways, that was not the only positive. The other positive that we had was Nitish Reddy. I mean, he finally played in a position where he should have played, proper Hardik Pandya replacement position, and that's where he got a 50 again. This he left a lot to be desired for. I was expecting more from him, but nonetheless, at least a start finally as a backup to Hardik Pandya. See, for the 2027 World Cup, I don't see any combination possible where Nitish Reddy and Hardik Pandya would play together. It is always as a backup, right? So I think in that direction, the effort has to continue to go into building him, giving him more game time. He bowled 8 overs, conceded 53, wasn't good, had didn't had a good day, but I still would like to see this go on so that he finally, improves his bowling.
See, on the bowling part, I don't have many complaints given the conditions, the wicket, and him being the fifth or the sixth bowler in the setup. I think 8 overs for 53 is not a bad day at all. Maybe I would have loved him to see get a wicket here or there. Maybe
Yeah.
one catch drop of Glenn Phillips and one more chance I think came of his bowling, which was dropped again. Means it was kind of a
Mm,
half chance. So yeah, so I think the bowling was kind of good, not good, but not bad as well, if you ask me, being the
mm,
fifth or the sixth bowler in the setup. The
mm.
batting part where I felt that he could have contributed a lot more in that game, because if you remember when he started off, when he came in at, I think, 71 for 4 or something, I pinged you that this can be his moment. I think from if we roll back the years back to 10 years, Pune 2016 or 17, when
17.
Kedar Jadhav got that 120 of 76, chasing a similar kind of a score against England. And it was one of his first games, first outings for India as well, Kedar Jadhav. And when he cemented his place for the next 3 or 4 years in the side as the number six alongside MS. So that is what I was thinking, that this could have been his moment, and there was the perfect man who to guide him to get that big 100, and we could have chased it down, and could have been a great chase. But sadly, it didn't come off, and I really wanted him to get that big 100 yesterday, that day, but he just fell apart.
Absolutely.
I mean, in the moment, I think he lost it, and it was kind of a needless shot, if you ask me, because 56, I ran a ball 56 or 53, he got, I guess.
53, 53 or 57. Yes.
53 or 57, yeah. So I think he could have done it, he could have converted it into a bigger score, I believe. But all in all, it was a good positive start for him.
Yep. Next on the list is Harshit Rana. I think he was phenomenal again. This time with the bat, he has finally, I think, kind of cemented his place as the bowling all-rounder of the side. And I think he's also improving his bowling, and now he has shown his prowess with the bat. Yeah, he was a lot expensive in this particular game with the ball, but I think overall he's a good value add to the side, and I think you would see more of him going forward. And yeah, I mean, in the playing 11 of 2027 World Cup, I'd like to see him.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I have been an advocate of this from the very first day he has that he was elected, because if you remember, I everybody else might be in the they were against his selection, but I wanted him to play all the games that lead up to the next 50 over World Cup, because I see the potential of him being some one kind of a Liam Plunkett or maybe a Chris Morris, if we can even he can
mm,
get better his sharpen his batting skills, and I think he's certainly working towards it.
yeah,
The 50 he scored and clean hitting, maybe the adrenaline got him got him to
got
play
him
that
doing
shot,
too much. Yeah.
which, yeah. But I think he played really well as a batter, and as a bowler, I think maybe he's bowling too many slower balls. And if you can see two sixes, I think hit by Glenn Phillips, he picked up the slower balls perfectly, Phillips, and deposited
Mm,
him into the stands. And I think he's bowling way too many slower balls. Maybe he can go with the variations little less frequently if possible, and go with the stock ball more, because he has got good pace, good height, and he can use the surface a lot. He is that hit the deck kind of a bowler.
mm,
So that can be one thing. Otherwise,
mm,
I think the lines probably, yeah. At one point, I think Rohit was pissed off with him because he was bowling way too many wide lines, and it was very easy
mm,
for someone like a Mitchell or a Phillips to cut, because the
mm,
batsmen from other countries, they're very good at the shot, at the cut and pull shot, if you see.
mm.
So that is something that he can work on, and that will come with time eventually.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, I hope so. And I certainly look forward to seeing him in the 11. I think the initial criticism for Harshit's inclusion was more on the lines of, you know, him playing directly in the Champions Trophy over Arshdeep. And that's kind of off-putting for many. And I certainly agree with what they said at that point of time. But yeah, of late, Harshit has been proving certainly his value in the side, and I think this should go on. It gives India plenty of options to play with, because more often than not, our lower order hasn't been great with respect to batting, which is an edge that teams like Australia, South Africa, even New Zealand for that matter, have over us on many occasions. So probably this is the first step to neutralize that. I mean, we tried this before also with Deepak Chahar. His injuries didn't help him. We tried this with Shardul, but his bowling was too horrible at that point of time in the lead up and in the 2023 World Cup as well. So of course we couldn't continue. I think Harshit provides a new dimension in that aspect to India's team, and let's see how it works out. But yeah, I think we need to talk about the big instance right now, and that is Ravindra Jadeja. I think it's time, Pradeep. It's time. It's time to take a call.
I won't deny, means I'm a big Jadeja fan as well. But
Me too, but
The problem with Jadeja is his batting against the spinners has been horrible. And I don't know if he was put into the test in this series knowingly that, okay, that he has some limitations. Like in the first game, he came out to bat at number 5, although by then I don't think many overs of spin were left. And in the second game also, he was kind of stuck, like he scored 23 or 40 or something like that. And in the last
mm,
game again, just could not get, just could not rotate the strike, and just played a very rash shot and got out when just he had to do was hang on alongside Virat. That is the problem with Jadeja, I believe. And his game against spin has deteriorated like anything as a batter.
mm,
And on the
mm,
bowling part as well, I don't think he looks that convincing to me over someone like an Akshar Patel or even a Washington Sundar for that matter. In the middle overs,
mm.
I think he has got one wicket in last 6 games or something at 5.5 runs and over. I think that is pretty bad for
Yeah,
someone of his nature. I mean, yeah,
yeah.
we might have seen the last of Ravi Jadeja in the ODI format. I mean, after 6 months, we play the next ODI in England, and I think by then Akshar will be back in the scheme of things.
He should be.
So,
He should be.
yeah.
I mean, there is no way Ravindra Jadeja at this point of time bats ahead, gets into the side ahead of Akshar Patel. That is simply a horrible decision. Yes, if Akshar Patel is injured, or if you want to rest Akshar Patel, which I think was the case in this series, only then Jadeja's inclusion makes sense. I mean, you cannot simply have Jadeja over Akshar at this point of time. Yeah, maybe there could be a scenario where you can have both Jadeja and Akshar. That might be a scenario if you change and tinker around with a lot of combinations, but I don't think it is necessary to do that. So that's my take on this, and I also think this should be it for Jadeja, but I think the upcoming edition of the IPL will decide a lot of things. I mean, I'm not one to mix formats, but that's generally how we have seen the selections happen. So I think that also would be the case here as well. The core problem that I have with Jadeja, I mean, see, is someone who will not get you wickets. We know that unless the surface is helpful for him. But discipline is what you get from him for quick overs and kind of he puts a halt on the scoring rate, but that also hasn't happened too often these days. With the bat, my only problem is he doesn't even look to attack the spinners. I mean, it completely kind of puts me off when I watch the match. It feels like there is no effort from his side to try and score at least. So that's where I kind of disagree with the selection. We'll get to know soon what happens over there. But I think the biggest lesson that I think not just me, I would include Ashwin here as well, and probably many other experts who predicted 3-0 win for India. I think we learned the singular most important lesson that cricket has to offer, and that it is a great leveler. I mean, never underestimate any team. For to defend myself, I would say I didn't underestimate New Zealand. I always said that they had a good batting lineup going into this series, but their bowling was bang average, even less than that. And I still hold my statement true because the Indian batsmanship, according to me, is much more superior than what was actually on display. And I say this again, 330 odd is something which should have been chased down comfortably. And all the batters barring Virat and for that ODI, Nitish, and of course, I'm not including Harshit here. All the others should just look into the mirror and ask themselves what they have done. And that includes Shreyas Iyer.
I mean, Shreyas Iyer, I think Sunny G was furious with Shreyas Iyer on that dismissal, and I
Mm,
completely agree with him. I mean, there was no requirement at that point of time. You're just new to the crease, it's a long
mm,
chase, you know the conditions well, and you could have clearly batted out how Glenn Phillips did. You could have taken
mm,
you could have made a note of it, and you could have played exactly like him, because you are the one
mm,
who everyone knows that you are the tormentor against spin, the aggressor against spin. And if you were there for like another 15 overs, the game could have ended in 47, 48 overs itself in an Indian win. So I
mm,
think he has to put some more value into his wicket, Shreyas Iyer, and he can't always go for a release shot when a short ball is bowled. It's not always not
mm,
on the ego part, because here New Zealand bowlers usually means they are of tall stature, so the bounce will be slightly more, and with the, with the more height, the bounce can be a bit awkward as well at the same
mm,
of the same point of the pitch as well. So
mm,
that is something that can play into the bowler's hands as well. So
mm,
playing every time you go for a attacking shot, and that to a lofted shot when the condition is not demanding that, I think he has to be bit more situationally aware in these conditions, because in all the finals, if you see, maybe the IPL final and the previous World Cup final, again in the Champions Trophy they dropped him. I think Jamieson or someone dropped a very simple catch of him. Otherwise, again, it could have been a bit tricky. So he has to be a bit situationally aware, if you ask me.
mm,
Positive cricket,
mm,
everything is fine, but in ODIs you have to be more situationally aware, especially in run chases.
mm. Yeah. Yep.
And
So,
also,
hmm,
the point, another thing that we have to make it very clear, means we need a very clear picture of is what is the communication of the team management to Rohit Sharma regarding his role in the side. Because what we have seen in the last two or three series against Australia, I mean, since his comeback, Australia, South Africa, and now New Zealand, he wasn't looking to score fast in any of the games from the
hmm,
start. I think in one of the games against South Africa, I think he got off to a flyer. I think the first game against South Africa in Ranchi. Apart from that, I don't think we are seeing any a glimpse of the 2023 Rohit Sharma. And if that is the
hmm,
case, I don't think it is helping the team a lot, because in these long run chases, like the 300 plus or 320 plus run chases, you need your power play
hmm,
to be maximized. Because otherwise, you are always behind the game. No matter what you do, you are always behind the game,
hmm.
because the asking rate is
Yep.
always climbing up. So, over a good over here or there from the bowling side, and you are again in doldrums. So, that is
Yep.
something that needs to be very clear from the management.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. And again, this is not a criticism towards Rohit Sharma. It is a criticism towards the team management. And it has to be clearly communicated to him or maybe to Shubman Gill. I don't care. One of them has to get up to a player. I guess in this game, Shubman Gill tried to get some quick runs, but it wasn't good enough. I mean, as you can see, or maybe it's not possible for him to do so because that is the same reason why he couldn't fit into the template of the Indian team in T20 cricket. Basically, that is what we were expecting from the openers, right? And we were very clear that if Gill could do what Samson was doing, then we don't have any problem, right? At the end of the day, it's about ends justifying the means. It doesn't matter who does it, somebody has to do it, right? And I think the same thing applies here also. And maybe that situation is not suited to Gill. Then in that case, the team has to clearly communicate to Rohit Sharma that, bro, you are the one who is going to open the innings for us in the World Cup, no matter what, and just play freely the way you used to play. Simple. I think this simple communication has to go to him, and then probably we can see the best of Rohit Sharma again. Anyways, 6 months is a huge time frame, and there is IPL also in between. We don't know what we will see after this is done. So yeah, I think we can pick this up once the ODI start again.
Yeah,
Yep.
and only I will close this out, and
Hmm.
also another problem that I see, which is consistently looming over, is that we are unable to pick wickets in the middle overs. It was evident in the Champions Trophy against Pakistan, and we were sorry, Champions Trophy last year. Many of the games we were not able to pick wickets, but then Shami or someone chips in the 10 to 40 phase. Basically, it was very difficult on our part. So we introduced a Varun Chakravarti in the New Zealand game, and he picked up a fifer. Then again, the same story continuing over and over again. We just are simply clueless. Prasid Krishna was there. He picked up few wickets in the middle overs. Then we threw him out of the side for Arshdeep, which is again very different roles. Both the bowlers have different roles in the 11, and again we see the same problem. So this is one thing that the management needs to take a note of, that how they want to construct the middle overs bowling as well, because Jadeja hasn't looked much impressive. Kuldeep, uh, this series at least
He
was
was
not
off
that.
color. Yeah, he
This
was
series at
off
least
color.
was not that good. Yeah, and the pacers were also not in great touch in the middle overs, and that I think, because 230 runs partnership from 58 for 3 to 280 or 290, it's a huge 221 run partnership, 277 that they pulled off, 279.
Hmm.
So I mean it's a huge partnership if you ask me. So
Hmm.
that is something that need to take care of.
Yeah, I think we did struggle in the middle overs. I think especially this comes because of Kuldeep's, I would say, lack of form, and it didn't. He didn't look like himself. He looked a shadow, right? And I think even in the South Africa series, he was good, but I kind of have been seeing this from him since then. Of course, there were results in his favor in that series, but now in the New Zealand series, things have gone very bad. I think yeah, he needs a bit of confidence again. He also needs to try and experiment a few things. I think what I saw was not lack of experimentation, but very minimal experimentation. Like it was the things were going on in a monotonous manner, even during that partnership, if you see. So that is something that needs to change. And I think Jadeja, we've already talked about it. There has to be something done on that matter. Maybe Akshar coming back will fix the problems. But if Akshar is not even being considered by this management, and Jadeja is the one who is being considered by this management, then that would be a massive blunder. I think that should change. So yeah, any other points you want to talk about, or we go
Uh,
into our favorite format of this upcoming season?
let's go to the T20Is.
Yeah, yeah. So this is going to be going on for a while because we have the New Zealand T20I series, then we have the World Cup, then we have the IPL. I mean, it's T20 extravaganza, and it begins here right now for us at the KP show. So, Pratik, first T20I mean, we were discussing this offline right before we started recording. Shubman Gill is out, and in the next two T20Is, we put on 230 plus. I mean, we're back to the template that we've made famous.
Yeah, and I think one, we tried to fix something which was not broken at all, and then we revert back to the original piece, and the results are back. There was this
Mm.
one stat that since selection of Shubman Gill or removal of Sanju Samson as an opener, India played 15 T20s without conceding, without scoring a 200 plus score. And the first match that he was out, and we played I think Lucknow game we didn't play at all, right? Yeah.
Lucknow game
So
was fog delay.
fog issue,
So
yeah.
they cancelled.
So the next two games where he didn't play, or Sanju Samson was back as the opener, we scored 220, 232 and 238 or 237. What did we score yesterday? 237, I think.
37, yeah.
So, yeah. So I mean, how? Why did they do it? I mean, I don't understand at all. What? Who was the thought? Who was? Whose brainchild was this thing? Is my
No clue,
question. I
man.
mean, why did you do this? It was not required at all because Sanju was going all guns blazing. Abhishek was already following the slam bang approach, and we had good stable head in Tilak at three. Surya might be off form, but we know how good Surya is. So everything was looking good, and all of a sudden, you twist and turn so many things that we're ending up barely getting a 160 against the B sides of Asia. I mean, they it might sound a bit arrogant of me to call them B sides, but that's what it is. If you see the stark difference of quality between India and the other Asian teams, you will call them B sides.
Mm. I mean, we had to eat our words in this New Zealand series, the ODI one. But yeah, I mean, we gonna make the same mistake again probably by calling them the B sides. But see, in terms of quality, there you cannot put them on the same tier. That is why we are saying it this way. You look at the depth that Indian cricket has, especially in this T20I format. You remove one player from for every position. I think apart from Hardik's position and of course Bumrah is Bumrah. You except those two players, I think every spot has multiple replacements ready and ready for international cricket. So that is the kind of depth that we have in Indian cricket. So you can be rest assured that the 11 that are playing are the best of the best. So yeah, I mean, we should like tonk all the oppositions that come our way. Of course, there will be days when we will lose because like cricket is a funny game and it's not always the best team that wins. It's actually the team that has the better head on the day that walks away with the win. Especially in T20I cricket, you need to make those quick decisions uh, in an over or two, the game can just run away from you. So
Basically, you need to make the moments count.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I believe now the team looks pretty settled, and
Mm.
the way that we played yesterday, I think it was very convincing, and all the check boxes I think have been ticked. Though we had two cash drops, which should not have been because they are very straightforward, but the ground
When
fielding was absolutely on point. I mean, I don't think we missed anything as on the ground. We
no,
stopped everything
but
that could have been stopped. But the two
mhm,
catches, I think, was sort of a bit bitter, and one run out chance that Samson missed because you don't get many chances to get Glenn Phillips run out. And it was a clear chance, and I don't know what happened to Samson there. He just simply left the ball to for
mhm.
thinking that it would be a directed, but it was straight into his gloves. It could have been a straightforward chance which he missed. So apart from these three moments, I think all in all, it was a very, very good game yesterday.
I mean, with respect to the catching, how many more times? I mean, almost in every video, this is kind of a staple that okay, India dropped two catches. I mean, the fielding coach has to be held responsible at one point or the other. See, I
I
get
mean,
it. Those are very easy catches that were dropped. I mean, you cannot just blame the fielding coach for that. But this has been a consistent pattern. If this was one odd game here and there, then you could still understand, and you could blame the player that okay, he wasn't aware, he wasn't there in that situation. He was maybe thinking something else. You could give the benefit of the doubt, but this has been happening in almost every other game, and it's costing India a lot. And I hope if this continues, then it would actually cost us in a crucial game. I hope that's not the case, but it really looks like it.
yeah, you can say that, and I mean, I'll agree definitely because fielding is the most fielding is something that is non-negotiable to me
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the other two skills you might or might not have a good day at, but fielding you have to be spot on every single day that you step onto the field. So, and also two of the good better fielders drop the catches. That is the that is the most that is more surprising to me. Like
Yeah,
it was
Rinku
first I think
dropping one was.
Rinku, and then Ishan Kishan one was, I don't know, he just ran into the ball, it seemed. Something happened and he dropped it. It was a very straightforward chance, Ishan Kishan as well.
Mm,
So yeah, so that's what I'd say. This is one thing that again we have to work on it, and we have to keep
mm,
working on it so that we are completely sharpened till the start of the World Cup. By the start of the World Cup, we are ready. And
mm.
that is one thing. And the bowling was Dube bowled a lot. I see. Dube bowled 3 overs. He got a few wickets towards the end as well, and it is a good confidence builder for him as well, if you ask me.
Yeah. I think that's the better part. See, this is exactly what I want. So I think yesterday the 11 that was playing is the World Cup starting 11. Only one change I could see that if Ishan Kishan is sorry, if Tilak is fit, Ishan Kishan goes out and Tilak comes into that's a straight swap. So that's okay. And of course, Akshar Patel's injury, we don't know what's the status. I hope he kind of recovers quickly. Again, if he is injured and if he is out, then it could be a problem for us because Washington Sundar, that could have been a replacement for Akshar Patel, is also injured. So that could actually increase some complexity for us. Otherwise, I think the setup that played yesterday is our T20 World Cup starting 11. So what I was trying to say is this is what we wanted right from the start, that you have this particular set of players and let these players experience situations like what is happening with Dupe. We are constantly in a position where we can give him the ball and trust him ki just bowl, we'll see what happens. And that actually is helping build his confidence. As you can see, if you see what Dube bowled yesterday, not just yesterday, actually, in the last few games, and compare that to what Dube was maybe 2 years ago, then there's a lot of difference. He's bowling with a lot of confidence. See, the pace is still almost in that range only, but he is hitting good lengths now. more often than not. I mean, if he was hitting the perfect length maybe once in an over earlier, now he's doing it 2 or 3 times in an over. So that actually helps. I mean, that's what you want. You put players in those situations, let them experience situations. Only then you're gonna get the good results in the World Cup. Constant chopping and changing, which used to happen. Thankfully, I hope it is the end, and this is the 11 that runs the course, unless there are injuries.
The best way to describe Dubey's bowling is he's a toned down version of a Shardul Thakur, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Means he will go for runs, but he will give you a wicket in the process. That's probably his role in this side, which I completely agree to, because him being the sixth or maybe the seventh bowler in a case that alongside Abhishek Sharma, I think it's fine. I mean, if I ask him to bowl at 7 or 8 runs and over in this kind of with the kind of the cricket that we are playing, expecting to play, I mean, it's too much to ask for him. So even if he goes for a 10 runs and over as a sixth bowler, I think it's fine with me if he picks up a wicket or two. And
Mm.
that's the case. And now that Akshar Patel part, I mean, if at all he misses the next game, who is going to come in and who is going to miss out is a bit tricky case here, because we don't have a spin bowling all rounder, any other one. I mean, Washington is not there, and they didn't pick someone who was an all rounder in place of Washington Sundar for this series, which I really wanted Riyan Parag to be a part of this. That is the reason why I wanted him to be a part of this uh, squad, and they didn't pick him
I
as
think
well. Uh,
I think
Now,
Rian
I
is
don't know
still
who comes in.
nursing an injury, if I'm not wrong. He's still nursing an injury, if I'm not wrong. Rian.
This is something that we need to check. I mean, I really don't know what happened. Maybe viewers can tell us in the comments what is the status of Riyan Parak. But now the question is, if at all Akshar Patel misses the next game, which is probably on Saturday, who is going to come in?
The next game is tomorrow on Friday.
Okay, on Friday it is there. Okay, so who is going to come back? Because Akshar got hit on the spinning finger itself, the index
Mm.
finger of the left hand. So who is going to come in?
I mean, I ideally would have wanted a batter to come in so that like the bowling part Abhishek Sharma can handle, and that I want Abhishek Sharma to bowl actually the overs that Akshar is not gonna bowl. Why? Because Abhishek Sharma as an all-rounder was a vital cog in the wheel for me. I look at him as an all-rounder. I mean, he was very good in the IPL earlier. So now that he hasn't bowled for a while, his bowling could diminish, and you don't want that. You want as many all-rounders as possible in the T20 format, and these are very inconsequential bilaterals. So might as well bowl Abhishek Sharma those 4 overs. Now the problem is the number 8 has to be a batter, not batter in the sense should be able to bat. Only then our template works because that is the template that we have been following. Now, if you bring in Shreyas Iyer, that actually can disrupt a lot of positions because Shreyas Iyer certainly has to bat in the top 5. So, what do you do?
I'll bring Shreyas Iyer and I bat him at number 5. And I give him the exact same role as Punjab Kings in the first few games. I think entire season, I think they gave him at number 4, number 5, and be the absolute aggressor against spin. If there is any spin, my first choice has to be Shreyas Iyer. That is my part, means that is my way of thinking. Because who are the other option? There is a Ravi Bishnoi, there is a Harshit Rana there, and who is another guy?
Kuldeep.
Who is there? Kuldeep. So Kuldeep and Bishnoi, anyways, Kuldeep. If at all anyone comes in, that is Kuldeep. But if Kuldeep comes in, then that means Harshit Rana will also come in, because you need that batting pad at number 8.
Then Arshdeep
So
has to.
then Harshdeep has to miss out for no good reason. So which has been part of the problem.
No,
So
no, no. That's
that
not
solution
something.
doesn't work in this case. So only solution that I see is, if at all Akshar Patel misses, then Shreyas Iyer has to make a comeback and he has to bat number 4 or 5, depending how they want it. Because now the problem is you can't bat him at number 4 as well, given Surya needs game time. Reason being the form hasn't been great at all for him in the last 18 months, if you see. So, number five, Shreyas Iyer, locked in, I'd say.
Maybe I'm seeing it this way because Shreyas Iyer, see, picking Shreyas Iyer is not a big deal. They can do it. But the problem is if you pick Shreyas Iyer here and Shreyas Iyer is not part of your World Cup squad, so the combination that you would be trying out here is not something that you're going to use in the World Cup. So what's the point? So maybe I think Harshit Rana comes in, or you could go back to not the original template, but the traditional template where you can have both Kuldeep and Varun along with Arshdeep and Bumrah. So that is a possible combination. Or you go in one spinner shot, one primary spinner shot, give that role to Abhishek Sharma. Okay. So your spinners become Abhishek Sharma and Kuldeep, sorry, and Varun Chakravarti. That kind of sounds very, now that I speak it out loud, it sounds very weak in terms of the spin department. And then you have like Bumrah and Bumrah, Arshdeep, Hardik,
No, so who comes
and
in?
Harshit as your Harshit comes in for
Akshar
Akshar
Patel.
Patel. That is, yeah, in that option.
No, the my point, my the problem with that is
See,
Shivam. Shivam Dube.
let me give you all the options, and then you can assess and tell us what you think. Okay. So,
Mhm.
what are the options? Option A, you bring in a Harshit Rana for Akshar Patel, which is a very minimal change in terms of overall context. You give the spin bowling all-rounder role to Abhishek Sharma, which means now he has to bowl at least 3 or 4 overs, or you go a few spin overs short. So that is one solution. And then your bowling, pace bowling actually improves because you have four proper pace bowlers. The other option is you get in Kuldeep Yadav, you have batting till 7. That goes against your template, but that gives you an edge in the bowling because you have Kuldeep, Varun, Arshdeep, and Bumrah, along with Pandya and Abhishek Sharma. So, sorted bowling. You have proper spin overs, you have proper seam overs, everything is covered. Now, the third option is you bring in Shreyas Iyer. Everybody starting from Hardik Pandya goes one step down. In that case, Shivam Dube bats at 8. Your bowling here also is kind of relying on Abhishek Sharma to deliver 4 overs because you don't have the other spinner. So these are the three potential options. Bishnoi I'm not including in this kind of options because if at all a spinner has to come in, it has to be Kuldeep. It's not Bishnoi because Bishnoi is not part of your plans of the World Cup. So these are the three options.
So let's go case by case. First inclusion was Harshit Rana. So if you ask me, yeah, I might be tempted for that this selection as well. That Harshit comes in and bats number 8, and everyone retains their spots because anyways Akshar was batting at number 8, which is a fair call. But my problem is Harshit Rana, or does Harshit Rana possess the same kind of batting abilities that Akshar has? Like if there is a collapse, I can push an Akshar at number 5 and he can hold one end, or even attack from one end, what he used to do in the last 1.5 years for the team. The answer is no. We can't do that. We already tried it in one of the games in Australia, I think, and we badly failed in that, I believe. And again, so that doesn't comply to our requirements. But as a bowling part, yeah, you can consider it as a very good change because Harshit is also being Harshit is more of a wicket taker, less of a you can say he doesn't bowl those economic overs, but he is a wicket taker. So this is one option. Now the second option is Kuldeep Yadav back. Now the problem is again you don't want to twist the template going into the World Cup, and if at all, because I was thinking it in that direction itself when they picked Bishnoi as the replacement. I thought that okay, that Arshdeep might not start, and we might go because what capabilities Harshit Rana showed as a batter in this series against New Zealand. I think 29 or something he got in the first game, then again 15 the last game. I think it's he put out a good show. with the bat, and he can guarantee a selection over Arshdeep at number 8, and both the spinners can play. But that was not the case. We saw Arshdeep starting the game, so I don't think they will go back to it. Now the third option, Shreyas Iyer. I mean, this had to be it. I mean, why after the season that we produced with Punjab last year, we all were in unison that Shreyas Iyer has to play. If there is a World Cup in India, you need an aggressor against spin in the middle overs. It has to be Shreyas Iyer with the kind of hitting that he had shown against the spinners. Either it is a Shreyas Iyer or it is a Rajat Patidar. I mean, these are the two batters that have shown exceptional hitting talent against spin in the last 2 or 3 seasons of IPL. So yeah, so I think the opportunity has arrived at this point of time, and if that happens, it's good in my opinion.
Mm. But I mean, for me, the simple
Uh,
solution. So,
Another thing,
uh,
yeah. Another thing, the first option I think will be the one that will be taken. Reason being, Akshar batted 8, and you have a Rinku
mm,
who can do that damage control in the middle overs. If at all it is required, he
mm,
can bat number 5, which he should, in my opinion. Which he should anyways, because that gives us that left right thing as well, alternate left right batters, and
yeah.
I think he has been in fantastic form. We are been typecasting him to be a finisher, but actually if you see his numbers and domestic across formats, he's way he's a way better batsman than what they portray him to be.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm not typecasting Rinku to be the finisher. I'm only seeing him as the finisher because he is kind of the best in the business to do it alongside Pandya. So when I say somebody is a good finisher, I mean it with a lot of respect that okay, this guy, we've found him to do this job because I know how tough it is. So batting in the middle order is certainly, and that too lower middle order, is the toughest job in the business. You either come in at 22 for 4, that Bangalore game, if you remember, Rohit Sharma and Rinku Singh when they got those runs. Either that you went live, right? That game. Either that, or you are in a situation where the team is 15 overs, 200 something, go and bang from ball one. So it is very difficult to play that role. So whenever I find players who can do that and do that consistently, like Rinku Singh, I always prefer to for them to stay in that position. And like that is why I was very angry with his non-selection in the last T20 World Cup because he absolutely did everything to be there, and I don't know why he wasn't selected. Same thing Gambhir also did by dropping him for so many games. So I was never a fan of that. When you have a finisher, you and a good finisher like Rinku, you give him that game time as much as he wants, so that he builds his game even further. KKR also did that mistake. I mean, yeah, 6 is the lowest that I would bat Rinku. Won't go below that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these are the cases that we have to evaluate. I think
Mm.
case one
But no,
and
no.
case three, one of the
Huh.
two will be.
Yeah, let's draw a conclusion. I think we discussed a lot of points. We should draw a conclusion on which case. What is your preference? Case one, two, three.
See, my preference is where we are playing in Nagpur. We are playing in Raipur, right? Next
Raipur.
time,
Yeah.
I'll go with case one.
Harshit in for Akshar and a
Then
straight
for
swap.
Akshat. Yep.
Yeah.
Reason being, if at all we are batting first as the first game, there is going to be a lot of dew in Raipur. The
Mm,
same means post 9 p.m. it's very dewy because of the cold winters in that
mm,
part of the country. So keeping that in mind, and also now we have Rinku Singh in the 11, so I don't think batting at number 5 in case of a collapse actually
mm,
causes an issue at this point.
mm.
So I'd go with Harshit Rana because putting Shreyas
Yeah.
is kind of an overkill on the batting part. if you ask me,
mm,
because like you have like seven proper batters, proper hitters. Then also you have Shivam Dubey who can bat. So I think that's an overkill if you ask me. So I'll go with the
mm,
case one. I mean Harshit Rana.
mm. Yeah, I think I will also do the same. That I'll just get in Harshit Rana for Akshar Patel because that kind of uh, keeps the change to a minimum. Yes, we lose out on the spin bowling department, half the spin bowling department, and a lot of pressure is then on Varun to get things done. Um, but yeah, I would like to see Abhishek Sharma bowl, so that combination makes sense to me. See, I wouldn't want to bring in an Iyer because it kind of feels like a disruptive move at this point because he's not in the squad, to be honest, in the T20 World Cup. So that combination will never happen, anyways. So I won't try that also. The other two options, Kuldeep is a very tempting option for me. Four bowlers, seven batters, but that goes against the template. And am a firm believer of the template that we need batting till eight. So that is why I would also agree with Harshit in the 11. So that is that for the next game. But I mean, Pratik, a few words for Abhishek Sharma.
I mean, I, explosive. I think I'll send you a thread. Send you a
Article.
say article on Medium. I read about Abhishek Sharma, the enigma of Abhishek Sharma, how he has cracked down T20 cricket. I mean, he has been. I mean, you can call him arrogant or you can call him reckless. People have called him names, but his methods have been optimal, if you ask me. Thing is, the only optimal solution in T20 cricket is sending the ball out into the stands. And that is what he has done for most part of his T20I career in the last 2 years. For the first 10 games I was reading, he barely crossed 20. In two of the games, I think he crossed 20. And after that, it has been a different story altogether since the start of the since the conclusion of the series in South Africa in 24, which kind of he got a 50 in the last game where Tilak and Samson both got 100. He got a 22 ball 50 there. And from that game, he has never looked back. England series was a hit. IPL, you can say it kind of hot and cold, but that was with SRH entirely, if you ask me. But the games that they won, Abhishek played a huge part in it. Then after that, Asia Cup, 300 some runs, had almost 200 strike rate, great in Australia, great against South Africa. Now started off with a bang in this game in this series against New Zealand as well. So
Mm,
all in all, I'd say he has put down a proper method to his game with the way he approaches the game, and he's executing it perfectly as well as of now.
mm. For me, I mean, it is very simple. Just I want to say this: Abhishek Sharma is going in the right direction. He is getting those quick runs. But what I want is to appeal to the fans to be patient. There will be a phase in Abhishek Sharma's career when the runs won't be coming. There will be a string of maybe 10 or 15 games where he would get single digits. But that is the time when people have to be patient with him. I know this that it is coming for sure because the cricket that he plays is high risk, high reward. We say that with Sanju Samson, right? Who is the best example for that? Sanju Samson. In 10 innings, he gets three centuries. In the next 10 innings, he doesn't even average 20. So this could happen with Abhishek also. I'm not saying it will, but I think it will. So on those occasions, we have to be patient. So that's one thing. Secondly, I want to say that there are very, few players that kind of break the mold, like generation breaking mold. So I'll start with from where I have seen cricket. Of course, before that, you can say Adam Gilchrist was that batsman who revolutionized wicket-keeper batting role. Then Jayasuriya was the one who brought that power play attacking template in ODI cricket. Of course, Sachin before that and all. There were so many players. But what I'm saying is, like starting from mid 2000s, like 2004, 5. MS Dhoni was the first one in that aspect for me because before MS Dhoni, I hadn't seen any Indian wicketkeeper or maybe anybody in the world batting at 5-6 in ODI cricket come and just give the ball a bashing, right? So he was one who was different from the template. Then Virat Kohli. I'm not saying Rohit Sharma here because Rohit Sharma uh, broke the template of 200s, but at that point of time, there were other people also getting those 200. Sachin was the first one. He did it just more consistently than others. You can say that he was also generational in that aspect. But for me, MS Dhoni, then Virat Kohli was the one who made like getting a 50 average in T20 cricket is nothing. Or he did bad in a way which made sure like ODI cricket is nothing. It felt like a video game. Hundreds, hundreds after hundreds. That generational season of 2016, then 2017, he made it that way. Then I see a guy like Josh Butler. I see a guy like AB de Villiers who made it a joke when you bat, right? In the middle overs of a T20I cricket. Then I want to say one off-field name, Surya Kumar Yadav. When he, not in terms of the world, but in terms of Indian cricket, when Surya came into the Indian T20I side, it was a revolution in making. The T20I team that we see right now, it started with Surya. So the first ball that he hit a six of Archer. Let me just complete this. So that was a revolution. He took what Virat Kohli had in T20I cricket to the next level. Virat Kohli averaged 50 plus with a strike rate of 135, 140, or maybe 142 something. Surya did it with a strike rate of 180. Now, when I see Abhishek Sharma, he took it a notch further. He's getting those big runs against uh, good teams. Of course, the average has fallen to 40, but the strike rate has gone up. It is 190. And if you break down his stats against Sena teams, I don't think he averages less than 180 against anybody. And yesterday was the first time he played against New Zealand, and he's striking at 240. So I think Abhishek Sharma is in this list for me.
Definitely, I think he can be, as you said, someone like Adam Gilchrist of the 90s. How Adam Gilchrist changed the wicketkeeper batter role in cricket altogether, from Test cricket to ODI cricket at that time, and then followed, then MS followed in the mid 2000s, and then we saw this Joss Butler was there, AB de Villiers for a brief stint as the keeper, Quinton de Kock, all those players. But if anyone you ask who is your idol, they will say Adam Gilchrist. We grew up watching Adam Gilchrist, the wicketkeeper batter. So that is one thing, and the Surya part that you were telling. I mean, people have to be a bit more thankful. I think for Surya, what he has done, people often forget because we are like 5 years since he made his debut, the debut game. I think who was it? I don't remember the commentator. He said like I think he he came into the crease well set. The first ball he hit Archer for a six over fine leg. That was the flick of flick of his shoulder. That was kind of a crazy shot because at that time Archer was bowling 150s, if you remember. And Surya, he scored 100 in England. He scored 100. He got 200s, I think, in New Zealand, or
New
100 in New
Zealand.
Zealand, one in South Africa, and I think one was against Sri Lanka at home. I believe four T20I hundreds he has. So we have to be thankful to Surya. I think people are very, you can say, very rude to him because of his lack of form. But we need to see that that cricketer has produced us results when no one else was batting at his template in the team. If you see from 2021 when he started to 2024 till this dip of form, means till the World Cup, you see his numbers, they were absolutely astronomical. I think after that injury in 24
Last
South
year.
Africa, he broke his hand or something. Oh, sorry. So that wrist injury he had, the game has kind of deteriorated for him because I don't think the power transfer has been quite good for him. But I hope it comes back. Anyways, back to Abhishek. Yeah, Abhishek can be that guy who absolutely redefines the matrix of the T20 game. With the way he has been batting in
Absolutely.
last 2 years, it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
And I would also add Phil Salt to that list, actually. I've been following him like recently in the last one,
There
two
are
years.
two
Abhishek
batters.
Sharma.
There are two
They
batters,
are
Phil Salt and Finn
uh,
Allen, both of them.
but Phil Salt, because Phil Salt did it more consistently. Finn Allen has been kind of on and off. You look at Phil Salt, whenever he plays, he looks a different player. I mean, so the players that I have mentioned so far, what I was trying to say is I'll put them in a category where they are different from their generation of cricketers. Virat Kohli producing those magnificent numbers. Surya breaking the template of how T20I cricket is played by Indians. So that is a different era defining change. So a lot of people who watched Virat Kohli, who watched AB de Villiers, who watched Josh Butler, who watched, let's say, MS Dhoni, who watched Surya Kumar Yadav, they grew up and like they would always idolize to be like them. That is how you define a generation. And I'm pretty sure there would be a lot of people looking at Abhishek Sharma and thinking, boy, I want to play like this in T20I cricket. That is for sure. So I put them in that. I put him in that kind of a mold that he's different from the entire generation of cricketers that he's playing with. Phil Salt also, I'll put that in. I'll put him in that list. Generally, we don't talk about the overseas cricketers, but Phil Salt, I believe, is also like that.
For sure. I mean, they scored 300, and in that game, I think Phil Salt got a 60 ball, 140 or 145.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy batter. I think there was one video or one snippet of a video from RCB mock auctions last year, which with the DK said that Phil Salt, if he goes on, he scores at 16 runs and over if he is in the power play, which is like crazy good. Like 16 and 6 is like close to 300 strike rate. Absolutely crazy numbers. Phil Salt. So that's how good Phil Salt is. And another player that I would like to mention here is Finn Allen. If people are following the BBL or the leagues around the world, Finn Allen is one hell of a batter, and we must. Maybe he will be back from the third T20 because they have a final to play on Sunday. Maybe he will be back, or I don't know. But he is in the World Cup squad as far as my memory serves. He is one player to watch out
He
for.
has to.
He's
He
of the
has
same age, I
to.
believe, 22, 23, 23, 24. He's also, and he's one crazy batter. I mean, the way he takes on bowling in the power play is out of the world, and he's only second to these two, Phil Salt
Hmm.
and Abhishek.
And I think Finn Allen is definitely going to open for New Zealand. I don't know if he's returning for the fourth. See, third T20I is also on Sunday, so I think he won't be there for that. Maybe from the fourth and the fifth ODI he'll be there. But he has to save New Zealand's opening batting because Conway and Ravindra are looking like fishes out of water at this point of time. I mean, nothing's going right for them.
I mean, you can't play both of them in the same 11. I think New Zealand, I
Mm,
hope they watch IPL. All the
mm,
management and the captain, because Stanton anyways plays in the IPL. They do watch the opposition games as well. And I think
mm,
they should get a good picture that Ravindra and Conway don't fit in the same 11. We would have seen in what happened to CSK by playing them
mm,
together. They lost like 7 matches on the trot. Something like that happened. And they were forced to uh, kind of drop Ravindra. And then
mm.
again, later part, they dropped Conway as well. So this is something that if you ask me if I am the selector or if I am Santner at this point of time, I drop both of them. I'm not playing any of them. I'll start with the Tim Seifert who keeps wickets as well, or even Finn Allen, any of the two, whoever wants to keep, they can keep. Both of them to open. Three Mitchell at three. Number four is Glenn Phillips, my favorite, and then Chapman and the others can follow. Jimmy Neesham can come in as the all-rounder. Mostly, yeah, he is in the squad, I believe. So this will be my top six. Then we can have uh, Chapman, yeah, Santner
You'll
and
have
Brace.
Bracewell.
Yeah, both of them and three pacers. This will be my
Yeah,
11 if you ask me. Matt Henry is
that would
there,
be a formidable side.
Jacob Duffy is there, and one of Lockie will play, and Adam Milne will be my sub. So this, if you ask me, will be my 11 for New Zealand. But now with the players that are available, I think it's not helping their cause. But at least the top four part will be this will be fixed, if you ask me.
Yep. Yep. I think lot to look forward to in T20I cricket. I think tomorrow is the second T20. I think we should be back after the fourth T20I, or should we just wait till the end of the series? Let me check the schedule. Uh, yeah, no, I think we'll be back after the fourth T20I, and we can do that review, or maybe after the 30 20. We just have to check the schedule. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
a lot to look forward to in terms of T20 cricket. I think it will be a very interesting decision to see who gets slotted in to that Akshar Patel's role, or maybe if Akshar Patel gets fit by then again the discussion is a moot point. But either way, do you have any closing comments?
Yeah, another thing that I'd like to say to our viewers is, if anyone is following the leagues around the world, you could have seen the humiliations that the Pakistanis have faced in the BBL. I think Babar Azam, Mohammad Rizwan, Shahin Shah, and Haris Rauf, I mean, they have been pathetic as performers in the BBL.
I mean,
Rizwan
especially with
and Babar both.
Babar's stats. I want you to share the same stat that you shared to me over WhatsApp with respect to Babar, please.
Yeah, so there was this stat from Cricinfo that amongst 350 players in BBL history who have scored 200 plus runs in a season, Babar's strike rate is the lowest, 103. In the history of BBL, that is like 14 or 15 years of BBL. That's just blew my mind. How can you be so bad? And that too, you are playing for Sydney Sixers, who play at SCG, one of the best batting wickets in the world. And there you have this kind of a stat. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. And these kind of delusional people, uh, they think that they are going to uh, they are going to beat India with this kind of performances. They're going to dominate India. How? I mean, how in your right mind can you think of that? Rizwan also was, I think,
It's
Rizwan was retired out in one of the games because of playing slow, and his strike rate is, I think, 101 or something. I think he could have been the worst, but the part is, their team got eliminated. So he scored, I think, 180 of 177 balls or something. Otherwise, he could have been the worst if he could have crossed 200. He was that
200.
bad. And Shahin Shah got absolutely smoked before he got injured or something. He went back to Pakistan after playing 3 or 4 games. Haris Rauf was consistently bad for Melbourne Stars. And he played his part. At least 3 games that I watched, he was the man who turned the game on the opposition's
Towards
favor.
the opposition.
I mean, there was one game. There was this debutant, under 19 debutant that was batting from it was a Melbourne derby, and Roth considered 2 sixes from him. Then again in the
Oh,
last eliminator, Rauf was bowling to Nikhil Chaudhary. They were well under par in a 10 over game at Bloodstone Arena in Hobart, which is something like a very windy ground, small ground, windy ground. Wind favors the game match direction. So that game also he considered 20 runs, 15 or 18 runs in the ninth over, and then that completely flipped the momentum. And then
mm.
Bowster finished up with another 3 sixes of Tom Curran, but he was the guy who had kind of initiated the fireworks. So again, so this is the update from BPL. And another thing is from South Africa, SIT20 has been fantastic. For you CSK fan, Dewald Brevis just might win up the man of the tournament. He's on the path. They are in the finals. Last year he won the emerging player. Not sure why MI Cape Town let go of him, for what good reason. I don't know. They've ended at the bottom this season, and and the reason is quite evident. The team that signed Edward Davis, they are in the finals. They're the first team in the finals, and he scored a 75 of 38 or 39 balls last night. And he just might win the man of the tournament. It will be a toss up between him and Sheriff and Rutherford.
Mm.
And see, or maybe a Quinton de Kock. If they go on to win the tournament as well. Sunrisers Eastern Cape, they have one more bite on the cherry on qualifier 2. So let's see what happens. And it's a very good
Mm.
competition for viewers. I'd say that you can use it as your dinner. Uh, while having your dinner, you can watch those games in SI20. It's a very good competition.
I think today is the eliminator, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Today's the eliminator. Pal Royals versus GSK. Both the teams are very much
JSK.
injury ridden. Yeah, Faf is
Uh,
out. Donovan Ferreira. Bad news. Donovan Ferreira, I think, fractured his left shoulder. So mostly he's out for a long time.
mm,
Faf had a finger surgery and he's out for like 2-3 months. Then I think David Miller has some groin issue. He didn't come out to bat in the last game. So yeah, so both of the teams are kind of depleted on their powers. Let's see what happens.
mm. Interesting updates. So I think that's all that we have for you guys in this video. I mean, do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We talked about a lot of things. Yeah, India's ODI batting has been very poor, and hope 6 months is a good time to come back. And we'll see. I think England is the next we play. We travel to England, right?
Yeah, we traveled.
Yeah. So that's the ODI series. We hope India comes back strong there. And with respect to T20, quite contrast, as I said at the start of the video, India should continue doing what it is doing, batting till 8 and just bat the oppositions out of the game. That's all that we want. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts. See you in the next one. Ciao.